Alright, in this video we're going to talk a little bit about traversing and filtering in jQuery. And what I mean by traversal is the ability to basically move through the document object model and select targeted elements. So we have parent, we have children, the children action where we can select all the children of a certain element, or the parent, or a specific type of element that is a parent, and so on. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some markup here. Okay, so in the body, let's create a div. We'll give it a class of container. Okay, so we're just going to have a number of different elements here. And next to these elements, I'm going to say what it is. So this is a div, and also its relationship to the main element that we'll have. So this will be a great grandparent. Okay, and then in the div we'll have a UL. Okay, and then this UL is the grandparent. In here we'll have our LI. This will be the parent, and then we'll have a span, and this will be basically our target, our element that we start from. Okay, and then let's do one below it. So div, and then we'll do a paragraph, and then a span. So in this case, this div is the grandparent. This paragraph is the parent. Okay, so whenever an element is wrapped in another element, such as the span in the paragraphs, this is the parent, the div is the grandparent. In this case up here, the div is the great-grandparent. Alright, now I'm going to set some styles just so we can kind of set a border around each of these and we can see what's what. So in the style here, we're going to say dot container, and then everything in that container. So we're going to use the asterisk character. Okay, we're going to say display everything as a block. Then we're going to add a border that's 2 pixels, solid gray, and then the color will also be gray. Padding we're going to set to 15 pixels, and actually padding will be 5 pixels. Margin will be 15. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So we kind of have an outline of all of our elements. So the first method or action that we're going to look at is parent. Okay, so this is to select direct parents. So we're going to take the span, that's what we're going to be working with, and we're going to say dot parent, and then we want to change the CSS, so we're going to say dot CSS. And we're going to set, actually we need to set this as an object with curly braces, and we'll say color will be red, color red, border, we'll set that to 2 pixels, red, solid. Alright, so let's go ahead and reload. And now you can see that the parent of the span has the CSS, has the color red and the border red. So it's a way to select all the parents, the direct parents of an element. All right. Now we also have parents. So let me just copy this. And we're going to be commenting these out as we go. So if I add an S here to make it parents and reload, now you'll see that everything all parents are highlighted. Okay, so parent will get the direct parent, and this will get all parents. All right. So we can also specify a certain element in the parent. So I'm going to paste that, comment this out, and then in here, let's add a parameter of UL. So now if we go and we reload, only the parents that are UL tags are now in effect. All right. So let's go ahead and just add a comment there, and we'll say only UL parents. Okay, next one is parents until. So what this will do is it'll keep highlighting the parents until it gets to a certain element that we specify, which in this case we'll say div. Okay, so notice that we get the parent and then it stops here because we're at a div. Okay, if we were to say UL, reload, you'll see that right here it stops at UL. Now down here it keeps going because there is no UL, so it's going to do all the parents because there is no UL for it to stop at. Okay, so that's parents until. Now we can also do children. So right here, let's paste that in. And instead of span, we know span doesn't have any children, so let's put a div. And then we're going to say dot children and leave the rest. So if we reload, you'll see that we get the div and it's direct children. In this case, it's a UL. In this case, it's a paragraph. Okay, we also have find. Let me just put a comment here. So for find, we're gonna make this a div, and then let's do dot find, and then we have to pass in what we're looking for, which let's say paragraph. All right, so if we reload, we're starting at any div, and then we're looking for a paragraph in that div. So you can see up here we don't have anything because there are no paragraphs, but up here it's grabbing the paragraph. Okay, another one we can do is siblings. So in here, let's go ahead and actually, you know what? We're going to add a little bit more markup up here. Okay, stay within the container. And I'm just going to paste this in. Okay, so basically we just have a div, and inside it we have a paragraph, span tag, h2, h3, and another paragraph. So we're going to, in here, for siblings, let's say h2 dot siblings, and let's see what that gives us. Okay, so basically it's looking at this h2, and then it's highlighting all of its siblings, and these are its siblings because it's on the same level. Okay, now we can also focus on a certain element if we want. Let's say we only wanted the paragraphs that are siblings. Reload, and now you'll see only the paragraphs are in red. All right. Okay, we also have next. So paste that in, not that, we want, let's grab that. Okay, so we're going to say, let's change this to h2, and then dot next, reload, and basically it'll take whatever's here and then just highlight the next element, which in this case is going to be an h3. Alright, we can also pass in a parameter. Let's say we want the next paragraph. Reload. And no, actually that doesn't work. I thought it did, but it doesn't. Alright, in that case, I guess you could just use find. In addition to next, we have next all, okay, because you can see that that only got just the next one, but we could go ahead and get all of them. So let's say H2 in here, and then change this to next all, clear that out, reload, and it gets the next two because that's all of them. That's all of the next elements. Okay, now we can also do next until. And here, change that to until, and we can specify an element. Let's put H3 in here, and then paragraph in here. So I'm going to be focusing on right here, so it should get after the paragraph until the H3. So reload, and you can see that we get the span in the H2, okay, because that's in between the paragraph and the H3. Now we can also do all of this same stuff with previous instead of next. So I'm actually going to just copy those three. This one, we'll say previous. So change this to prev. And that'll get whatever was before the H2, previous to the H2. We also have prev all. And that should get both the span and the paragraph before the H2. And then we have prev until. So let's go to the span. Okay, so it gets from the paragraph up until we get to span. All right, and then we have two more we'll look at, which are very simple. We have first and last. So let's take the paragraph, and then we'll say dot first, and we just want to clear this out. Save that, reload, and it gets the first paragraph. Okay, we can also do last. Change that to last. And you can see it gets the last paragraph. Alright, so that's how we can traverse and filter in jQuery. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. And yeah, so that's it. And I'll see you in the next video.